March, along with the railroad. We had railroad police out there and us. Conducted several arrests and removed literal tons of trash from those encampments. And I'm working with the railroad right now to get no trespassing signs placed all along that property so that there won't even be a need for a warning. If people start setting up camp right there, they can go straight to jail. Because while some people view it minor, that was a major thing for that neighborhood because those people are causing significant problems. Won't bore you with too many other statistics, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to either answer them or try to answer them and get you a better answer later. Yes, sir.
I noticed that right at Dale NCR Highway, there's a couple more pot selling places. I assume the laws haven't changed and.
They haven't. We did a raid of 3 months ago, I think, with our narcotics division, and we will no doubt be doing more. The problem is it's a financial one. Really, it's just such a profitable business. I've dealt with those kind of things for years. Us taking people to jail, they kind of view it as a cost of doing business. But we're not gonna stop. We're gonna keep coming back and taking people to jail until either they get the message or I have to find a more creative way to deal with the problem. I've done that in the past. We may have to do it again.
So Joel and I can actually add a little bit of help there. We will be, once we have quorum, we will be officially asking the county to put together a working group to eliminate the pot shops from Diamond Street, including owner notification. So for those of you who don't know, my family was actually victimized by this for several years. My mother rented a building out. She was promised it was to be a legal CBD shop. They held it as storage for like 3 years, paid her cash, and then opened up as a pot shop. And it took me like a year to get them out. It was a nightmare. We didn't get paid for a long time. And so a lot of the times it's simply that. We do need the county to help work on those things. So we'll be reaching out to you as we get quorum moving forward to that.
And we'll be happy to do the best we can. We struggled to get our staffing up, and now we're able to do these projects. And that's a problem for the community, so we're gonna wanna address it.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm very happy to share my experiences with that as well.
Is the state available to assist in enforcement? Because I know as far as the laws and the like, as far as the county, unless the county has adopted, you know, the legality of the shops, they aren't legal unless they are licensed by the state.
They aren't, but I've only seen the state go after the illegal cultivation,
Oh, not the
not the
retail.
sales.
Not the retail.
They're looking for the big farms and
Oh, okay.
sending in major crews for that.
Okay.
'Cause we did that again about 3 weeks ago,
Okay,
all through North LA County
right.
and this
okay.
area.
The illegal farms.
And
Okay.
when they did the raids last time, they used a different angle. They used the health angle, so the buildings, it was health and safety they were using to close the buildings. So the county is being more creative with how they are trying to chase them out.
Yes.
So it is, I mean, it's definitely worth acknowledging that, and it's certainly important that we acknowledge those things too.
And I can try and reach out to my counterparts at code enforcement and see if there's any way they can help. Because
And one of the things
working as a team benefits.
One of the things we need the community to do is reach out to the DA. That seems to be the cog in the wheel. Is the sheriffs go out there and make the arrest, code enforcement goes out there, illegal dumping, but we're not getting the filings. We're not getting the support from the DA on a lot of this stuff. So that's where the community comes in. We could send letters and emails and stuff like that. And maybe she'll understand that it's important to our community and see what maybe a little bit better enforcement.
That enforces cannabis laws that should be at least notified to see if there's some kind of partnership available.
I can see if they can assist us in some way, because they have a lot of resources.
Yeah, they're very robust in relation to that, you know, the enforcement of that. And so definitely reach out to that organization because you know they're real big on that licensing and the like. And I know they've been going after growers and the like.
Because it's lost revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on top
They
of
get
that,
serious about that.
yeah, this is not. They're not receiving any.
No, they do.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, they're not receiving any revenue because these folks aren't paying.
Yeah, they're operating
state
illegally.
taxes.
Can you also, do you have any update on the homeless man, Larry Hardin, that was shot and killed in front of the motels?
We actually made 2 arrests, I believe, within 24 hours of that case.
Wonderful.
One of them has already, this is not completely confirmed, but I'm told it's already gotten a sentence on one of them. We had a very good teamwork between our special services unit, which is kind of our fugitive apprehension group. The kind of guys you look at and you don't realize are cops. And our homicide team came out, and our sergeant here actually, he's been in Roseman so long, we refer to him as the Roseman Rolodex. And he had the most knowledge about the gang that conducted the shooting and was able to help ID him faster than anybody.
Any other questions?
I just want to take a moment to publicly thank Deputy Price. And I promise I won't say too much. I don't know too much anymore. But we had an issue with one of our female students this year at Tropico Middle School. And I just, if it weren't for the work, I never saw officers jump on a situation so quickly. And within a few days, we have recovered our young female student who made it all the way to Washington.
Oh, Lord.
And that's all I'm gonna say. I don't wanna say too much, because I have no idea where we are in that process now. But I know that you and another deputy, were responsible for, I was so happy when I got the call that she was on her way back.
I was very proud of our team after that. That was, shortly after that was when I volunteered to extend my stay. Because I was very impressed with how the Roseman substation operated that day.
Thank you so
And we are now
much.
working with the local agency of Washington to get prosecution in Washington, because it appears that most of the crimes occurred in Washington and they were quite severe. So we're gonna try and get justice for that little girl and do that for everybody else as soon as we can.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it a lot.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And so I had asked, you're gonna be a monthly?
You can't try. I'm gonna do my best.
We could both text Mountjoy if it helps.
No, we did.
Oh, you already did? Okay. Yeah, I volunteered to come back every month. So if you guys will have me, if you'll let me, I'm happy to be here.
Sounds good, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That's only been left here. Would you like to share anything, or?
Yeah, I'll just give you a brief update. It's my last year, as was indicated, because there's a 12-year limit. And I have about, for Republican, I'm doing pretty well. I have about 8 bills still alive. And I'm not gonna go through all of them, but I'll go through the 2 highlighted ones. As a retired highway patrolman, DUI is a big problem and a big focus for me, and I have a personal attachment to that. And one of the bills, it increases the point assessment for vehicle manslaughter. And there's a point assessment. Right now, it's ridiculously low, and I'm trying to increase that. Secondly, for a 3rd conviction, we have one lady in California that has, I think she set the record, she has 16. And she still drives.
How are they still having?
Our laws need a little more teeth,
No.
right? It's a complicated problem, and I understand that, but consequences have to be part of shaping behavior. And when we don't have consequences, it's even less likely to improve. And so, in my opinion, we're still fighting on a 3rd conviction to increase responsibility. The last one is Gabriel's Law. As we all know, the tragedy associated with Gabriel. And I've been working on what we call Gabriel's Law. We've had to go from different angles. But it's been a problem that I've been trying to address my whole time there. We get close, and then something bad happens. We get close, and basically what's kept it from moving is false allegations, because there is the potential for that. So we have to be very, very cautious that we're not punishing people who are not guilty. But in the same right, what this particular approach will do is it'll require those who are mandated reporters, including social workers, that when they see an injury, if they don't report it and have action taken, there's accountability measures for them. In Gabriel's situation, there was a lot of awareness that did not get acted upon, and that's shameful. Especially when we have children. He's a very extreme case, but nonetheless, I'm sure we've had 4 others since that time. we've had 5 deaths by caregivers, their own children. It's hard to understand that people not only would not care for their children, but would torture them. And we have that kind of wickedness in our valley, folks. And I'm sure it's statewide, but we actually have circumstances here that when the children die, there's follow-up, and we've been able to identify. I mean, the last one was not even a year old, and it was tortured. Anyways, it's a problem. It's a problem that we're trying to seek some remedy and to try to improve situation, and I think we're finally going to get it done. And we're working very hard, and we're very proud to have represented this area, and we've had some successes. And I will tell you that even though the thinking is not often the way that I think, there's a lot of people that are good. They're all good people. I just think that they're misguided. And I try to be a good influence for what I believe in. But politics is not a science, but it is life experience related. And so people's value system is based on their life experience. And a lot of people haven't had rural life experiences, everybody. That's the problem. Most of the thinking is an urban mentality. And these are good people that are trying to help them focus on the problems they're aware of. So it's on us to try to convince them that they need to be a little more balanced in the way we think. And I feel like we've had some success in making that happen. And I know that if the person I'm supporting gets in, which I think will happen, it will continue. So keep the faith, everybody. Stay active, whatever your life experience is, act on it. And in my opinion, it's kind of a darker society, and I believe that lights are a little more visible. And so it's an opportunity for all of us to actually have an influence, and I hope you will.
Thanks. Southern Kern Unified School District. You don't have to.
You understand.
How about this? Super easy. How many kids graduated this year?
205
Wow.
from high school.
Wow.
29 valedictorians.
Wow.
How many from Rare?
How many from Rare Earth? Rare Earth had, I don't know the exact number, I'm guessing about 25.
Good.
And those might be my favorite 25, because those are the ones who become the most.
Pardon me, I spilled ice cream and it's like, I'm sticky girl. Maybe you can help me by, do any of you have questions for me? I'm the superintendent of Southern Kern. That might lead me, because there's a lot of things going on in the district. You hear me periodically talking about construction. A lot of construction going on in our district. We're currently wrapping up locker rooms now. They're a little small, but we are, and then we're going to move into a weight room dance studio. At the same time, we're in Department of State Architect for a $30 million CTE building on the high school campus. So it's a beautiful, if it's ever finished, hopefully it will be, estimated a year and a half from once they actually start, breaking ground. It will be an amazing facility. It will have a shooting range for the Cadet Corps. First they told me,
California?
That's what
Yes.
I said.
the reason that it's not real bullets, they're not real
It's
bullets.
still amazing.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a $500,000 building, and it will sit a little bit outside of the CTE building, because we also have FFA. We will have a new barn. The kids will have an outdoor restroom for the FFA kids. It's a lot of
That's cool.
wash area for the animals and different things. So it's going to be, it is quite a facility. I hate to talk too much about it, but yeah. And we're finishing up West Park right now. Everything, we built 5 new buildings, 10 new classrooms at West Park, new parking lot, and that will be open before, August 12th, so the kids will get to enjoy. The classrooms are 1,300 some square foot
Oh, wow.
each. Yeah, I was thinking, my first house was like, I was comparing this classroom when I went to visit the class, and they all have bathrooms for the kids in them. So, and I think, Tom, that's one of the new requirements for TKK, like 1,300 some square feet. They're amazing. And so, yeah, our top 29 valedictorians, the top student male was a 4.7, and I believe he's off to Stanford. And it's been a while, there's a history here. It's been a while since a Rosamond High student went to Stanford.
Really?
But Stanford, UC Irvine, Azusa Pacific, they're UC Davis, they're just going.
Right.
It was amazing to see that many kids who you know have done so well academically. So yeah, just a lot going on, and we have the biggest freshman class coming into Rosamond High this year from Tropico. There's almost 300 in that freshman class.
Wow.
So yeah, they're coming to me and they're like, "We need rooms." I'm like, that school was built in what year?
1965.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, we're doing the best we can. You just have to wait till that building is finished, and yeah, so, but we're very excited about the fact that it's a big freshman class. So,
Something.
yes,
You talked about a new elementary school one time. Are they still looking into that?
well, thank you for that question. Taking me down that road, we bought 20 acres on Rosamond Boulevard. Yes, Rosamond Boulevard with utilities, flat land, beautiful. Only to, we got it for a really good price. Only to find out that we can't build a school on it. I can build a district office, I could I could move all my school buses there, I could do anything, I just can't put kids on it. It's because we're in the air of the little airport that
Sky
goes
Park.
behind like Guido's restaurant.
Yes,
That
Sky
little
Park.
air, that is in a, even though I said to California Department of Education, I already have, every school I have, except for West Park, is closer to that airport. But then they said, that's because they were built back in,
Well,
now you can't do it. So they've given me an area where we could build that third elementary. We're gonna need it pretty soon. We're monitoring, most of the school districts right now are in declining enrollment. We are not.
Statewide.
Statewide, yes, sir. We are just keeping a healthy enrollment, but West Park usually averages close to 1,000 kids. Rosamond Elementary, 780, 790. So there's still a little room, not a lot, but there's still a little room.
Well, they just built 3 big housing tracts near West Park.
Yes, and so we know that the time is gonna come. I'm sure we could sell that 20 acres. I'm hoping that shopping center goes in, so maybe other housing, I'm sure we could sell it for, and make a profit on it, or hang on to it for a few
But
years.
then you gotta find a new location.
And I have an agent out there looking, but she's just not really, I need at least 15 acres. And everything that they're finding, there's no utilities, it would cost me so much to build access and all this. So right now, we just kind of put that, building that,
So that's why you included 10 new buildings in West Park with the population.
yeah. And it's beautiful, but we painted the whole school, we changed the sign because someone, I don't know, before my time, made the name of the school, which isn't the name of the school, West Park. That's not the name of the school. The school is West Park,
One word.
one word. So I had to have that changed, but it was like, you know how something eats at you for year after year, you're like, oh my gosh. Because when you look up the name of the school in the California Department of Education, it's West Park. So I was like, why did they have it West Park? It's like, so we've had that fixed and had the whole school painted to match the new playground, new
I saw that.
new parking lot for the an additional parking lot, which that school really needed.
So,
Any other questions?
no, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much for having me.
All right, we will be Apple Valley City List for responsible use of water.
Hi there, I'm Randy Scott. I think somebody thought I was from the Department of Water Resources. I'm not, just our little group that we formed a number of years ago. As far as precipitation, throughout the state, we're just slightly lower than the average. In the 3 state areas, the northern, central, and southern California, the historical average for the last 30 years. In our local area, though, we're actually 36% higher than the normal average. So we're doing pretty good as far as that goes. And then, of course, this is pretty much the same as what I said last month too. The reservoirs are all very full, more than their historical average. Not quite to capacity, but they're really doing well, all of them throughout the state. So we don't really have any problem as far as any water that comes down. Now, of course, a lot of the water in this local area comes from wells and so on and so forth, and it's augmented if need be by water that comes down through the aqueduct that goes to AVAC and so on. As far as the other form of reservoirs, as far as the snowpack, as I reported last time, that's virtually nil. Most of the snow that we got, which wasn't a lot throughout the state, has been melted by all the higher than normal temperatures. So that's really looked upon as a form of a reservoir, and that really doesn't exist right now. It's down to a few percentage points in a couple of places, and that's about it. So that may or may not be an impact in the future. We'll see what the next 40 year holds. As far as predictions, the 6-day forecast for precipitation in this area, there's none. The 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook, what they're calling normal, which is for our area, is pretty much none. In the same way for the month and the season, they're predicting to be pretty much normal in our area. Temperature wise, as we've seen, pretty much above normal for at least the next 6 to 10 days. The monthly outlook that was issued in May, but it looks into July, looks to be about slightly warmer than normal, but not as much heat as what we've been getting the last few days. And the seasonal temperature outlook for our area, we're just kind of on the crest, if you will, of what they call normal versus slightly elevated. So it's not looking too bad as far as what that's gonna hold. I mentioned before about El Nino. It's been pretty much confirmed based upon, and El Nino basically, the true definition of it is the Pacific Ocean being a bit warmer than normal by a degree or two. There's one article I just was looking at that could affect marine life, including sea lions, seabirds, and sharks. We've been hearing, well, first of all, the seabirds and so on, they are not really do too well with this an elevated temperature, because their food, some of their food actually leaves the area and so on. But sharks, there's some of the fish that sharks go after that come in up closer to the shore, and we've been hearing about shark sightings and so on, and we may see some more of that. So definitely an El Nino is in an event that is happening. Whether or not, there's also predictions, regardless of these, there's also predictions about El Nino could be more rain, it could be more storms. They've seen some in the Midwest and so on, and whether or not that's related to El Nino is hard to say. So the predictions at the moment are pretty much normal for the rest of the water year. The water year goes through September 30th and then starts again October 1st. But so we may or may not get any additional water through El Nino, but things will be a little bit warmer, at least as far as the ocean goes, and that may affect some of the animals that are in the ocean. Any questions?
I do.
Thank you. Yeah.
What's the explanation for all the crazy waves right now? That's something
King
That's,
tide.
yeah, the king tide, as far as I know, I'm not an expert, is the moon. The position of the moon relative to, it's astronomical is causing it, or the right word, so, yeah. Yeah, I think those are predicted for another day or two. I heard on the local news through Friday, but people are not being as careful as they ought to be, so my personal opinion.
So no water shortage this year?
No, there shouldn't be any problems or anything like that.
I like that.
Yeah, I might mention too, the adjudication that, without going to a big explanation, was the settlement of the court case. It's coming up on the 10-year review, and so they're looking as far as which, I happen to be in a small water mutual west of here, and they're looking at, each mutual is looking at how much do they use versus how much they've allocated. Actually, it's not just the mutual, all the users that are all getting groundwater and so on, and that relegated or regulated how much groundwater you can pull out and so on. And so they will be then looking at, the water master meets monthly, they look at all kinds of statistics, but they'll be looking at what the water table is doing as far as going up or down. Did they allocate to all the users to pull out more than they should have or less than they should have and so on. It's basically, they're looking at it continuously, but there's gonna be about another 7 years before they make any changes as far as that goes. But so far, for most of the results have been that the water table is fairly steady, because there's always a lot of guessing as far as how much can be pulled out versus how much is gonna be replenished in there each year.
Thank you, sir. Roseman Library. Do you have any updates?
What?
Would you have any updates to the library?
Yeah, I have
While you walk up, I'll give the first update. I got to read at the library's first ever Leaders as Readers program.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
we did.
Thank you guys.
Alright, so hi, I'm Amanda. Some of you might know me. I'm the supervisor of the library here in Roseman. So we are in summertime, and summertime at the library is the busiest time of year for us. The kids are out of school. We've got our summer lunch program going on. We've got our summer reading program going on. We've got our usual programs and then times 10 of other programming. So it's very, very busy. The main things are summer lunch program. We started, and that's in partnership with SKUSD. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, kids 2 to 18 can come to the library between 11:30 and 12:30, and they get a free lunch. And we also have a bunch of activities for them to do. So we've been doing like board games on Tuesdays. We've been doing movie on Wednesdays. Today we had crafts. And then Fridays we've been doing our program that goes along with our summer reading program, because it's all garden themed this summer, is a little gardening activity. So last Friday they got to plant tomato seeds. So they seem to enjoy that. So that's been a lot of fun. That's going to be going on until the end of July. There's only 2 days that we are not going to be having lunch, which is tomorrow and the 3rd of July, because we will be closed the 3rd for Independence Day, and tomorrow is Juneteenth. So
Are you closed tomorrow?
tomorrow we are open. We are just not serving lunch.
Okay, cause I know you're doing that art thing with the kids.
Yes, we are.
The
So
drawing.
in lieu of lunch tomorrow, we do have a program going on that is taking place at the same time as lunch normally would be. It is going to be hosted by a local retired art teacher, and she's doing, should be really cool. It's going to be art and literature. She's going to read some stories about bugs. She has bugs in resin. She's going to bring in, the kids get to look at it, and then she's going to teach them how to draw bugs, and they get to draw their own bug superhero type thing. So it'll be very cool. So we do have that going on tomorrow, as well as a bunch of other things, including a Father's Day craft program and things like that. So we have programs going on every day. And so, you know, if you don't know what's going on, the best way to find out is through our Facebook page. We post everything on our Facebook page. We also have paper brochures that we give out at the library, so you can stop by and grab one of those. But yeah, the big things right now are the lunch program and then our summer reading program is going on all through this month and through July. It's for all ages, so we're trying to get, you know, not just the kids, but the teens and the adults, and the teens are very hard to get, but we are very fortunate this year. We had a lot of community members donate prizes. We have a lot of prizes to give away at the end of the summer, so we're hoping that really gets some people coming in. And basically all you have to do is read 10 books or for 10 hours, and you'll get a bag full of goodies, and you'll get a free book from the Friends of the Library in Bakersfield, and then you get entered to win a grand prize, which our friends at the local level have generously given us money again to get Amazon Fire tablets. So one for the adults, one for the teens, and one for the kids. So that will be a drawing at the end of the summer for everybody who participated and completed the challenge. And then we also have a bunch of small prizes that the community donated and that the friends donated behind our circulation desk, so they can enter to win as well.
Amanda, does that have to be reading, or can you do do the audible, because I'm doing about 30, 40 hours.
Yeah, so we are not discriminatory against audiobooks, so we figure anything that gets people to read and gets, you know, the literacy up is
That
good.
counts.
So, yes, so, you know, physical books, regular, those count, but so do audiobooks. And I like to tell the kids too, you know, some of the younger kids aren't quite, you know, into the novels yet. But I tell them, you know, comic books count, graphic novels count, you know, if you like the visuals more, as long as you're reading something, that's really what you're looking for. So, so I do have some flyers here, which I maybe can put up here for anybody that's interested. So this is about the summer reading challenge, and then I've got one on our lunch program. And then I also did bring some of the kids' brochures. We have teen and adult brochures as well at the library, but these are so thick because we have so many programs this summer. So we are going through printer paper and ink like no tomorrow. So I just brought the kids this time, but yes.
Is there a chance you'll get the magician back again?
So we
That
are.
was really good.
Did you come to Josiah? Was it Josiah?
Yeah, Josiah.
Okay. Yeah, so we usually have Josiah in the summer. He is one of the performers that is paid for by the Large Friends up in Bakersfield. They usually do one performance each summer for each of the branches. So that was our one performance this year for him. So hopefully we'll get him back at some point. We do regularly also have a couple other magicians that come throughout the year. So we get like Magic Napoleon and Tricky Tim and a couple other people. So, but that was the one magician for the summer. We will be having a reptile show again, which is always a big deal at the end of the summer. That's like our summer reading finale on Saturday, August 1st. That's going to be in the morning. So that will draw a big crowd because everybody loves the animals. You know, so.
And then I saw on the board, you guys are going to be closed for a little while in August.
Yeah, so we just had that confirmed. So luckily they held off till after summer this time, so that we're grateful for it. So I don't know how much I'm allowed to say yet, but I mean it's out there. So so yes, we did just get board approval for a temporary closure in August. We are supposed to be closed August 18th through the 29th, and that is to replace our HVAC system. Our HVAC system is 30 years old.
Well, I thought they did that last year when they did the renovation.
So they upgraded the controls for the HVAC system.
They should have did the whole thing.
What ended up happening, to be completely honest, is when they applied for the grant that paid for our renovations, this was back in like 2019, and they had people come in and do their, you know, thing where they looked around and everything. And the recommendation at the time that was made was it just needs new controls. It didn't just need new controls. The summer before last, which was, you know, last summer we were closed. So the summer before last, it was my actual first summer running the library, and our HVAC system went down in July. We have 3 systems actually. One controls the main library, one controls our community room, which is where we hold the lunch program, and one controls like our little lobby area. The community room one is the one that went down in July of that summer, and Gretchen is very familiar because unfortunately it was still having issues in September when the Historical Society came back and wanted to hold its monthly meeting. And yeah, so major issues. We also had the main library one go down for a couple days. Luckily that one wasn't as, you know, much of an issue. That got fixed fairly quickly, but we're talking about 30-year-old systems. They've never been replaced. They still use the old, you know, stuff in them. Yeah. Which is very expensive and very costly because it's hard to find now. So if we were to get a leak, it would be very hard for them to replace it. But yeah, so they did finally find funding and were able to use some leftover funding from that grant. They had to go and get it approved because it wasn't initially in there, and grant funding can be tricky. And then they got additional funding, so they're using the leftover and some additional they found to finally replace our systems. So we are very excited about that, and hopefully we won't have any problems going forward. And we're hoping that it will just be a week, but they did ask for 2 weeks just in case there are any delays. So we're crossing our fingers and hoping that we it will be a truly temporary closure this time, so. But that's all the information I have about that. Obviously, as it gets closer, we'll be making announcements and stuff. I'm just waiting to get the okay from headquarters to post about it and all of that, so, yeah. But yeah, I think that's all I have. Anybody have any other questions for me?
And my daughter wants to know how old she has to be a volunteer.
So usually 12. But,
And she's there like every day. She's literally that I'll be dropping her off tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
yeah. Yeah, usually 12, but I mean, I know her, she's very mature, so. And then, you know, if you volunteered with her,
I'll read more. Because everyone's always trying to get me to do more.
I mean-
You don't get the free lunch though.
No, that
Spread your
is true,
wings,
you're a
Lauren.
little over the lunch age limit, but
That, and I work for lunch, because I do like food.
there you go, so.
Alright.
But yeah, any other questions or everybody good? Okay, awesome, well, thank you for your time, I'm sorry to talk your ear off, and I'll leave all these up here, so if anybody wants them, feel free to take them, and there's more at the library.
And we'll distribute, the ones that are good. Alright, next we're gonna go with, American Fox. Do you have any update for us on that?
Yeah, I'll sit here and I'll speak. Real quick, I know we've got a couple other speakers here too. I attended the Ridgecrest Emergency Services Committee. I sit with that organization, governmental, non-governmental, business, as well volunteer organizations, as a city come together with the idea that through relationship and understanding what everybody does, they have more capacity in order to respond to disaster. And they've been really a great partner when it's come to disaster. We've set up shelters there, and they've helped support us on disaster relief efforts up there. I definitely want to thank the superintendent. Our relationship with the school district is fabulous. Matter of fact, we had to set up a shelter. Actually, we've set up two. I set up one the other day, and we were going to set one up at the high school, but the fire was extinguished. But we've had a rash of grass fires, and we're going to continue having them because of the growth of grass that's out there. So your Red Cross is ready and prepared to set up and stand up shelters and support the community when necessary. But yeah, a big shout out to the district, because without those facilities, we aren't able to stand up and support those people that may have to evacuate. So thank you so much. At the meeting, what I found out is for the current fire department during 4th of July, do not use 911 to report any illegal fireworks or things like that. This is the number you'll want to call. It's 661-868-6070. That's 661-868-6070. And that's going to be from 8 p.m. till. And the reason is, if everybody calls them 911 lines, crowds those lines, first responders can't respond to the actual fires and the like that might be out there. So this is a line that you can make a complaint on, and they'll respond to it. There's also a website, and if you want to report on a website, this is one word. It is youlightitwefightit.com. And we don't know how that came up, but that was that. So anyway, also in the community on 6/25 on Thursday, there will be a blood drive at the Community Service District, and that will be from 12 to 6. So if anybody is a donor, then we're going to be happy to see you there. I am a blood donor ambassador. I don't know if I'll be at that one, but we're always happy to have the community come, provide the gift of life. We're happy to take it. I kind of think we're vampires, but that's just me personally. But in either case, it's wonderful that we have those heroes that come in there and provide that. So thank you very much. I love working with this community, and we're ready when things happen. We're doing a lot. I do have a smoke detector campaign that I'll be doing probably next month. So we have some people in the community who will be receiving free smoke detectors on behalf of the Red Cross. So that program's going well. So yeah. So those are the few of the things we've got going on. So,
Perfect.
yeah.
Thank you, sir. We're gonna go with Matt Bauer, Congressman in this office. He was hiding. He was getting away from the heat here earlier. He was hiding his shirt.
I was, yeah, I felt great. Alright guys, not a whole lot to update on my end. There was no votes in the House this week. There's been, I think, 2 district work periods since the last meeting here. So a little bit of a quieter legislative calendar lately. we are in the midst of appropriation seasons between markups for individual bills and then bringing them to the House floor for a vote. Currently, 2 of the appropriations bills have passed the House floor. That's the agriculture and the Milcom VA bill. Happy to go over some specific wins we had in both of those bills, if anyone has any questions after the meeting. I did just want to highlight first, we had our Congressman Fong nominated, I think it was a total of 5 or 6 students throughout our district for the military service academies.
Great.
And 3 of them were from Eastern County.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
very, very happy about that. One was from Tehachapi, the other was from Ridgecrest, and then I think the other one is from also Tehachapi area as well. But yeah, Bertram Marine Academy, Naval Academy, and West Point. So
Thank you.
yeah, we have a press release on our website for it, so if you guys are interested in their specific names and their background, feel free to go to our website and check that out.
Yes.
So yeah, very, very happy about that. Rather get some Eastern representation out there. Additionally, on July 16th, that's going to be the next RMAC meeting, or the next day of the RMAC meeting. From noon until 5 p.m., our office is going to be hosting a Veterans History Project interview here in this building. So we have one scheduled at noon, so the next time slots available are from 1 o'clock to 5 p.m. And I think I explained this at the last meeting, but the Veterans History Project is a project that is it's technically ran through the Library of Congress, but congressional offices administer it. So our veterans liaison is going to be here interviewing whatever veterans would like to sit down and talk about their military service. There's no requirement, you don't have to have seen combat, nothing like that. Like it's only requirement is that you're a veteran. You can come and talk about whatever you like, as much as you'd like or as little as you like. So
What time is that again?
that is going to be the time slots that are currently available are going to be from 1 to 5 p.m. And they're usually about an hour long, depending on we give them up to an hour, so that gives 4 time slots left, right? So we have enough room for about 4 more veterans. We're working with Marcy from the VFW as well to try to get those slots filled. But I have some handouts and some flyers.
What date is that again?
It's gonna be July 16th. Yeah, it'll be here. So yeah, love to get some participation for that.
Thanks, sir.
That's all I got. Thanks.
Alright, so that pretty much conducts the meeting. I'm just gonna go real quick through. We're not gonna vote anything, but we did prepare things that are on time constraints. The county budget is going to be complete. It's next month. A lot of you took the letter that we wrote. We can't send that. I'll send something like that on my own. Joel can send it on his own if you'd like. I think he's going to be speaking there. And I encourage you guys to submit a public comment as well for the county budget. The things that I've listed are things that we've heard directly from people from locals. Nothing in there was just things that Joel and I came up with. There was things that people in the community shared with us. The parks, same thing. It's coming quicker than we think. I've given you a sample park letter that you could send, and I'll send again one of my own. We won't be able to send it to without quorum. There's a community report I put in there for the COG report, which is the transportation report for the region. You're more than welcome to go through that. It also explains to you how to submit a comment. That one's probably the most important one because that's actually what they do, like 20-year windows. So every couple of years when they make these adjustments, it sets how roads get built for the next several decades. So it's very important to go through there and know what they're planning on spending money on and who to contact to get them to, make changes. And I've included I think 7 or 8 different projects that I would have asked the board to approve that I think are really important to town. And then the last one is the signal timing. I think I'll just have Joel call Public Works on his own or call the department. And same with them if you just want to call Chris's office and ask for more enforcement on fireworks. I do not have a letter for that, but that one is a huge one. We've had a ton of fires in the area lately. And today a resident called me and she shared actually yesterday she told me, Amanda was with me, that she was told to evacuate with no identified evacuation route. That is absolutely a life risk decision that needs to be made at the county level. So the COG report the COG submission is how those things are fixed moving forward. And then really, that's it.
Yeah, Senior Deputy Brian, on the additional deputies and fire, what we were wanting to do is reach out to the supervisors, see if they can allocate some additional money for some additional guys that, it seems like a week before the 4th of July and a week after is when we have our issues with it being a war zone here in town and.
Yes, I can talk to my sergeant, see what he has to say about it. As with everything, it's kind of
Yeah.
an issue of money.
Yeah.
We blew through our overtime budget with a lot of crime suppression stuff already.
So that's why we figured we'd reach out to the supervisors to see if they can allocate some extra funds.
Allocate money because I'm responsible for getting people to come in for overtime for things that we have, and people live on overtime. Or like, I've gotta have
Works for
the
us.
funds to do it before my sergeant's even know what we can say.
Yeah. You know, I wanna speak to, the evacuation. And I wanna speak to it as a retired firefighter, and I'll speak to it from the Red Cross. But, there's a lot of good information out here. I stand up and I tell people, make a plan, make a kit, make a plan, stay informed. We have Ready Kern, we have Genesis. In most evacuation situations, people aren't given specific instructions. They're told to evacuate. And it's incumbent upon us to have an idea, particularly how we can get out of our house if we need to. And if we're in a situation where we have a disaster, if we have Genesis, we have Ready Kern, we are able to, or we have watch duty. I have watch duty happening things all day.
Right.
You're able to stay ahead of that. You need to be first responders. Relying on the first responders to do everything for you in disaster is putting you in jeopardy and behind the curve. Back in the day, when they told you to evacuate and you said, I don't know where to go or how to go, that was one thing. But currently, there are too many tools available that people can have individually to make them individually responsible for their well-being. And it's important that people do that. I think relying on government to try to handle that disastrous situation, you guys are the first responders. You're gonna take care of your family, you're gonna probably take care of your neighbor. If you don't have a place to go to, you'll come to a Red Cross shelter, we will take care of you. And during the first few hours or the first day, things are chaotic. But during these grass fires especially, people need to be proactive rather than reactive. In other words, I see smoke, I don't know what to do. You don't have a kit made, you're not informed, you don't have a communication plan, you don't know where your escape routes are to get out. If you have those tools, you know what's happening. This phone rings all day with watch duty. Bing, 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 and it gets to be annoying at times. But you know what? It's important because you need to stay abreast because you can't allow the disaster to happen and happen around you without you knowing.
How many people evacuated to Elmo Hall here?
Actually, interestingly enough, I think we had 2 people that came by. We calculate for the most part 10% of the population, and oftentimes it's 10% of the area affected. So the area affected and the people residing there was actually, it was rather small, but we had 2 people come by, temporary evacuation. Yeah, the numbers oftentimes, unless it's a massive disaster, we'll get small numbers.
Well, I was in the evacuation warning zone. So
Right,
I
okay.
was prepared and ready
Right.
to go.
Yeah, and we did have some people come and I spoke with them and we provided them water and snacks and, we sat with them and I was here and set up, matter of fact, I was tearing down the signs that I left up
I
here
was
on the
just
wall.
curious how many people could be evacuated here. What's the number of people?
Well, we are capable of standing up 100-person shelters.
100?
Yeah, so this is one of our sites as well as Tropico, as well as the high school. Those are 2 other sites
Three
there.
sites.
We have 3 sites here in this community. So, and we just added Hummel. And, we like sites that offer services like kitchens, refrigerators, for medication, things like that. Air conditioning is important. Gymnasiums are fantastic for us as far as the size. We have to kind of work a little bit of magic to make things work for what we like to do, but we're
Okay.
more than happy to have
I
them.
thought you would have got more than 2.
We, like, often,
I'm gonna have to guys.
yeah, definitely. We could talk afterwards, okay, I'm sorry, we could talk afterwards.
Since you didn't have a quorum tonight, which I think was unexpected, we hope to get a lot of things done, you want to consider having a special meeting in sometime in the near future so you get like some of these budgetary things done possibly in time?
I mean, it might be something worth asking, just to get like maybe a makeup meeting, because.
Well, yeah, I think you can do a special meeting, there's a certain notification, all that stuff that the county can help with that, but if you can get the three of you together to be able to pass some of these things, especially the ones before July, yeah.
Yeah, might be worth asking.
I think that would be a good idea. if you could-
I'll email Michael tomorrow, that's actually a really good idea. Cause you're right, I mean, some of these things are time sensitive, and
Yeah.
it's important that we speak on these things as a community.
Yeah, especially like the budget kind of thing.
Are we too late for the road improvement?
No, you're not at all. It's,
Okay.
that's July 2nd is when the COG report, your Council of Government statement, comments are due on July 2nd. And that's just a quick email. You send it to one or two guys, and you don't have to submit it to anybody. There's no clerk to send it to. There's no website to submit it to. Just an email. And that one's probably the most effective one. If I were to say to you one thing, it's probably that one.
You're talking about Hummel Hall real quick. It's getting hot. I reached out. We have cooling centers here in Roseman. Hummel Hall is one of them.
Right.
But in order for it to be open, it has to get to 180.
Right.
So, any of us who grew up out here, lived out here, if you certain homes, mobile homes, anything over 90 to 100, it's a sweat box.
When
So
the-
I tried reaching out, trying to get that lowered, and one of the two things hurt me in getting it lowered was one is I guess Southern California Edison is cutting their budget back on the funding on those, and then nobody's been using it. So we need to get the word out there that we do have them. If we can fill the room up or get people to start showing up for the cooling, I can argue and say, hey, we're having people show up. We need to get that temperature lowered down.
Last year I called when it was 108 and it wasn't open.
Yeah.
So I had an issue with the Department of Aging. I called them.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I'll
Well,
work with
let me
that.
finish. So they had to call somebody who was the cafeteria lady, and she came and opened it and stayed with us.
Wow.
But there was only two of us.
Yeah, Joel and I have argued that at 108 degrees, you've already made a decision at 103 degrees that you're gonna get out of bed.
Yeah.
It's not that,
insane.
you've already made a choice at 101 that it's too hot,
Yeah.
and you've decided to find a cool space.
So that's when the library was closed for renovation.
And
People
I was in the
couldn't go
library
there.
3 days this week, and it is packed all day long.
It's our cooling unit.
The pool's open, and we went last Thursday, and there was 140 people there while we were there.
Right.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
That's great.
So they've been, and I dropped my kids off today, my older son, and again, there are a million people there. So
Wow, that's great.
all right. Well, I think that's it, guys. Thank everyone for coming. We are done.